This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi.K.
Commander Pratap Singh Mehta, Indian Navy veteran, talking to me about the Indo-Pak War, 1971. Some really goosebump-inducing moments as he talked about the destruction of Karachi Harbour, and of course the book he's written, Rajputana Chronicles, Guns and Glories, which is available on Amazon. Thank you for all your wonderful comments and questions. Radhika Radia, good morning. Finally have access to my radio after ages. Loving the journey from Starship, Sting, Course, Pet Shop Boys, etc. Gracias. She says, Shiva, good morning. Hi Apurva. I'm glad, Kalpesh, that you're enjoying listening to this. Rajat Mehta has a question. What was the proudest day in his life as a naval commander? We will come to that at the end of the show. Nakul has a question. Would love to for Captain Mehta to share his experiences of fighting the 71 war. Did losing life and limbs in the line of duty ever play on his mind? He did answer a bit of that when he talked about the INS Krishna experience, but we'll also come back to that. But now, JP Shetty, INS VIKRANT, he says, I was saddened that it was scrapped. I wish the corporate world could have chipped in, and they should have chipped in. Let's talk about INS VIKRANT. You have served on INS VIKRANT, sir.
Thank you, Rishi. Once again, INS VIKRANT is not only a historical aircraft carrier, it's nostalgic in my life and in the lives of all Indians. It was the first aircraft carrier which we had acquired, commissioned in 1961. If you look back the history, it was built in 1945. Second World War finished. It was laid to rest and kept in a safe custody. In 1957, Indian government bought the carrier. And little history, if you have seen the movie Rustam recently, there was a mention about how the deal for INS VIKRANT went on and about the commander Nanavati. Today, in 1997, after having served a long innings with Indian Navy, the INS VIKRANT was decommissioned. And thereafter it was made like a museum ship, which was privately held in the naval dockyard with restricted entry of civilians. We all of us prayed that some corporate house would take the onus and sponsor it as one of the pride flagship of their company, sponsoring them. I've been abroad to London, I've been to New York, I've been to various countries. Every country preserves their warship, whichever premier in their history of the Navy. But it is sad the Indian Navy had to let go VIKRANT for lack of funding from the Indian government, lack of interest by the state government. I'm sad, very sad. But now recently in 2016, a memorial dedicated to VIKRANT has been made at the traffic island opposite Lion Gate, which is very close to Regal Cinema in Colaba. Please do visit this. The memorial is made out of steel from INS VIKRANT.
Sir, you served in VIKRANT 1977-78 seeking helicopters, right? So take us through that journey and eventually, I mean, in the early 90s, your role in Port Blair. Talk about that.
Thank you. I specialize in the Indian Navy as an observer in the naval aviation. Observer and the pilots, these are the two entities you have. Pilot is the one who flies the aircraft, and observer is the one who carries out the naval operations, be it submarine hunting, locating and destroying, to patrol and surveillance. It's very interesting. In 77-78, I was flying seeking helicopters, which is basically an anti-submarine one. We embarked on VIKRANT and carry out coordinated exercises with various ships and dummy exercises which actually represent a warlike situations. And one of the, let me tell you a very nice incident. Whilst our helicopter were ready for takeoff, one of the fighter planes, Seahawk, with then Commander Peter Debras, got airborne, and for whatever reasons the engines failed and it ducked into the sea. my God, we were all holding a breath and waiting for the safe recovery of the pilot. Then Commander Peter Debras, retired as Admiral. Immediately our search and rescue helicopter went into action within seconds. That is the efficiency we have. The pilot ejected underwater and he was fished out by the search and rescue helicopter. I think it was less than a minute. Remarkable recovery. And kept on serving in naval aviation in various key appointments. In 92-93, I was posted at Port Blair as squadron commander of a surveillance and patrol aircraft. You won't believe it, it was one of the largest surveillance area given to any squadron in India. In the Bay of Bengal, extending from top to bottom, it was almost 1,500 kilometers by 1,000 kilometers. That was the area. And our main patrol was based on the intelligence received from naval headquarters from time to time to prevent LTT boats crossing over from Malacca Strait going to Sri Lanka.
Wow.
And again, let me tell you, it's a very interesting incident. It was, I think, month of July. The monsoons were at the peak, and I was given orders to take off and intercept LTT boat which was already left Malacca Strait. It is the intelligence report which comes to us. You can imagine during the monsoon, Andaman and the Bay of Bengal is very rough, and we took off, went out to look for the LTT boat, but the clouds were so heavy, the particularly cumulonimbus clouds, dark, charged with electricity. You can't fly through them, you can't fly above them because their extents go up to 10 to 15,000 and you can't do surveillance at that height. We were flying at sea level, 200 to 300 feet, believe me. And we spotted those LTT boats, carried out gunfire. Though I'm sharing with you now for the first time, we were supposed to escort them and bring them under threat to the harbor. I said, look, in this weather, how the hell am I going to escort him? I fired my guns left, right, at least maybe more than 200 rounds. That damn boat was sunk. The couple of LTT guys who were carrying arms wanted to surrender, but there was little you could do. Even a ship will not go in that heavy weather where the waves were about 15 to 20 feet high. I was sad for those guys who sank, but I was happy I did something nice for the country.
Messages and back with Commander Mehta, Indian Navy war veteran.
94.3 Radio 1.